Oh, look, we're live streaming. We'll just wait a second before we start. Oh, all of your faces look so pretty. All right, Mackenzie, you can start.
Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to say welcome everyone to the first Senate meeting of the 63rd session. I'm very excited, and I just wanted to introduce myself just in case you don't know me already. I am Mackenzie Haas. I'm the student body vice president for the 63rd session, and I'm really excited to get started. So in the vacancy and absence of the speaker of the Senate, I, as the president of the Senate, do hereby call the first meeting of the 63rd session of the Student Senate to order and shall preside over the Senate during this meeting. So that was our call to order. I don't really have a gavel, so that's our gaveling in, and we've already done the roll call, so we're going to move into section 2, swearing in and the oath of office. Our first group of senators to be sworn in are the Applied Studies senators, correct, Gabe?
Yes, Applied Studies.
Okay, so if everyone else will go ahead and turn their cameras off. I canceled my, okay, perfect. And then
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, but nobody's got their.
Oh, there he goes.
Okay, perfect.
Micah, can you see it?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Okay. Amazing. So if you'll just repeat after me, if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Micah Cretin,
hereby swear
that
I will faithfully serve
the
students of Wichita State University, act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body, and fulfill all duties and responsibilities required of the office of
Applied Study Senator.
I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University.
Congratulations, Senator.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so we'll do business next. Oh, hold up. All right.
Okay, ready? If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Vanessa Cowden,
hereby swear that I will faithfully serve the students of Wichita State University, act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body, and fulfill all duties and responsibilities required of the office of
business senator.
I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University. Thank you, Vanessa.
Congratulations, Senator. Engineering.
All right, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I,
J. Thompson,
Adriana Lares,
hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the student of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
engineering senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Thank you both.
Congratulations. And fine arts.
Hi, John.
Hey,
If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. State your name.
I, John Kirk,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of the College of Fine Arts.
I will,
To
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Senator. Graduate senators.
Are you ready? If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. State your name.
I, Alex Ratcliffe,
I, Maggie Moon,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of graduate student senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congratulations,
Congrats, guys.
senators. Health professions. Oh, Bailey, there we go.
Is Cheyenne on? No. Okay,
Cheyenne, are you still on?
what's happening?
It's okay, we can go ahead.
Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what just happened. Okay. Okay, if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, David Liu,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of Health Profession Senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my
to the best of my
ability,
ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
protect, and protect
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student
Constitution of the
body
student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State
of State
University.
University.
Congrats, guys.
Congratulations, senators. International senators. Omar, are you on?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
Okay, if you both would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
Sai Prakash Ragi,
hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of the International Student Senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Liberal arts and sciences. Oh, there's a lot of you this
All
year.
12 of them.
Okay.
All right, everyone, if you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Breakout,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of Liberal Arts and Sciences Senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congrats, everyone.
Out of state.
If you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kaplan Short,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required by the office of
required of the office of out-of-state senator.
I will,
To the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Senator. Honors. All right.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jacob Chibok,
Buckellebra Irig, hereby swear that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
responsibility
required of the office of
required of the office of Honors College Senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congrats, guys.
Congratulations. Veteran.
I state your name.
I, Eugene Quads,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of Veteran Senator.
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congratulations, Senator. Returning adult.
Ready? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Inika Vargas,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of Returning Adult Senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
At large? Okay, perfect. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
James,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
That I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of
required of the office of at-large senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congratulations, everyone. All right, underserved. Okay, if you all will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Erin Flores,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required
skipped a
of the
part.
office of.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. We'll start over. I'm
Okay.
sorry, guys. I state your name.
I, Ellie Flores,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
act in
act in accordance with
the Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities
required of the office of.
required of the office of underserved senator.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body
the Constitution of the student body
of Wichita State University.
of Wichita State University.
Congratulations, guys. I almost made it through without messing up once. Darn. Okay, so from there, we are going to move into, we already took roll call. I already took roll call, so we're gonna skip section 3
Yep, and you'll go right into public forum.
into public forum. Okay, perfect. Okay. Public forum provides a chance for individuals to have the privilege of speaking before the Senate. This is a time for the association to listen to what the community has to say, and to that we offer our undivided respect and attention. I would like to remind everyone that although we allow the speakers the privilege to use this platform, the opinions of the speakers do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the association or the university. Lastly, in the essence of time, we do limit the speeches in public forum to the length of 3 minutes, unless the speaker has spoken to us about it ahead of time. That being said, is there anyone who would like to speak in public forum tonight? Perfect. Was that long enough, Gabe?
Yep, that's good.
We're going to move into section 5, officer reports. So the chair recognizes the president of the association for the reading of their report. Madam President, do you have a report to read?
Yes, I do. So first of all, congratulations to everyone for being a senator and being inaugurated today. I really look forward to working with this entire Senate of the 63rd session, and I hope that we all can achieve something great together. Now, for my report aspect, I have started to transition with the previous president before I got inaugurated. And so now I'm just learning how to attend meetings and what to say and all of the ins and outs of this position. I have also started transitioning with the Kansas Board of Regents Student Advisory Council Chair, as this year, Wichita State President being myself will be serving on that committee as a chair. Few other things, Mackenzie and myself, we have been conducting interviews for the cabinet positions and also for the Senate position or senator positions. So you will be voting on those appointments tonight, and hopefully you will see more next meeting, which will be the last meeting of this semester. And I'm sure that you all have seen the 2, or at least one of the executive orders that was basically created by me. The first one, what it did was it basically put students on university committees that are dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. And then the second executive order basically created a task force related to student fees. So those people who had previously served on student fees are being reappointed, and they will look at the 1.5 increase of student fees at that number again. So hopefully that made sense. And then Mackenzie and I also created a bill regarding the director of media position, which is on which will be a cabinet position. So you all will be introduced to that bill today, and next meeting you will vote on it. So once we get to that, we can discuss more about it, and Mackenzie will be able to give you better details about the position. And lastly, we have a virtual town hall tomorrow in which I myself will be facilitating, and we will have the president, which is Dr. Jay Golding, Provost Rick Muma, and Dr. Terry Hall, alongside other folks. And they will be answering all of students' questions and questions that have been sent in prior to the virtual town hall, which is tomorrow at 2 p.m. And with that, I stand for questions.
Are there any questions for the president? Crystal? Or Senator Zacharias, I'm so sorry.
So I did have a question regarding the second executive order that you made. A lot of the members that were appointed to that committee were senators-elect that were now made senators. And I was just wondering, the people who served on that committee who weren't senators, was there a particular reason that they weren't appointed to this committee, even though they might still be on campus?
So yeah, for those people that are not being appointed to this committee, they all basically have graduated. So the people that you might be referring to, Lucas Webb and Walter Wright and some other, but they have graduated, therefore they cannot serve on these task force or committee. Therefore, it would be the sitting senators, which already happen to be the representatives on student fees. Hopefully that answered your question.
And I think to add on to that, and I apologize for that, but I think to add on also, when we talked about it, we also looked that with the 60-second session being over, that sure, their appointments are where they served on the committee last year. However, we thought it was best that we utilize members of the 63rd session now that we're under a brand new session and brand new administration. So that was some of the thought behind it as well.
Okay, Senator Chibok, did you have a question?
Yeah, so concerning that same task force, if they come to a different decision than what they wanted to recommend for the last session, or what we passed in the last session, will it have to be passed through the Senate?
Yes, so all of that will first go to the task force. They will make the recommendation, and then the Senate will approve or deny of whatever the new number will be. And then that would go to the president, and they would take it to KBOR.
Senator Vargas?
Yes, I just had a quick question. So I know that a lot of people here may be kind of used to the processes and stuff, but for people that are new like myself, I want to be really effective in my role. How can I find out what to bring up or what things are allowable topics when you all open the floor for questions, or like what things should we know to ask or say during those times? Is it just anything we have a question about, or, you know, are there specific things?
So for the questioning period, usually it's supposed to be germane to the topic. So
Okay.
let's say, since I just gave my report, you would question me about that report or anything else related to my position. So questioning period comes after each and every report, or let's say it comes after a bill or a piece of legislation that was presented to the Senate. And so for my report, whatever questions you would have for the position, I would answer.
Okay.
And then there would be a debate. Actually, for reports, there is no debate. But for bills and legislation, you would basically have the question for the author. And after that, you would debate if you're in favor or against of that piece of ledge.
Okay. Thank you, Rija. Thank you.
No
Our
problem.
President Khan. Respect.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no further questions, are there any other questions for the president? Seeing none, we will move on to my report. Okay, so as Rija said, we have been working on facilitating interviews this past week and working with each other to find the best candidates for the 63rd session cabinet. Along with that, we've been working with Treasurer Osterman and have been meeting with administration, President Golden, Dr. Hall, Dr. Austin, and David Miller to discuss the possibility of reevaluating the student fees packet like she talked about. And beyond that, Rija and I have been working separately on various task forces that are wrapping up pretty quickly. So I have been sitting on meetings in the Health and Safety Task Force, Engagement and Regional Prosperity Task Force, the Reintegration Planning Task Force, and the Communications Work Group. So if you have any questions about any of the work that those task forces are doing, or the work that Ridge and I are doing, please feel free to ask or reach out to me individually at any time, and I'd be happy to chat about that. Those task forces will be wrapping up by the end of the week, Friday at 5. So that information will be pushed out as soon as it is all compiled together as well. Are there any questions for myself? Yes, Ella. Senator, sorry.
You're fine. Do you anticipate that the task force will have a decision as far as student fees by the next time we meet, by that Friday when everything's wrapping up, or do you anticipate that it will be longer than that?
Yeah, so the task forces I was talking about were separate from the student fees task force that Ridge has put together. The student fees task force will be meeting tomorrow from 11 till 1:30, question mark, from 11 to 1:30, and that meeting can be viewed live on our YouTube as well. So there's they'll probably have a decision by the end of the day tomorrow. But the task forces I was talking about will, be wrapped up by Friday. Any other questions for me? Okay, perfect. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to priority business, the election of the Speaker of the Senate. The Speaker of the Senate will serve as the presiding officer of the Senate and head of the legislative branch during this session. The Speaker must be elected to the Senate and will serve in the line of succession to the office of the presidency. At this time, I will open the floor for nominations. If you would like to nominate a senator to the speakership or would like to self-nominate yourself, please click raise hand and state the nomination. Nominees must accept their nomination and be added to the ballot. I will call on the senator by saying, "Senator blank, for what reason do you wish to be recognized?" And you will respond by saying, "Madam Speaker, I wish to nominate Senator blank." The floor is now open. Senator Chibok, for what reason do you wish to be recognized?
Madam Speaker, I wish to nominate Senator Bobbin.
Senator Bobbin, do you accept this nomination?
I do.
Senator Cowden, for what reason do you wish to be recognized?
Madam President, I would like to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Madam President, I would like to nominate Crystal Zacharias.
Senator Zacharias, would you like to be, do you accept this nomination?
Yes.
Are there any other nominations? Senator Chibok, is that another? Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Senator Mounts, for what reason do you wish to be recognized?
I wish to nominate myself for Speaker, Madam President.
Do I have to ask him if you accept that nomination?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for the Speaker of Senate? Perfect. At this time, the nominees for the Speaker of Senate are Senator Bobbin, Senator Zacharias, and Senator Mounts. We will begin with the presentation of nominations by order of nomination. We will dismiss the other nominees during this time. Senator Bobbin, the floor is now yours for 5 minutes to speak on your nomination as soon as we make a breakout room for everyone else.
Yes, I'm doing it right now. So Senator Mounts and Senator Zacharias, you should have seen a message that says breakout room. Please click that.
Okay. Senator Bobbin.
Are they gone?
Yes.
Okay. Nope, hold up. All right, and hold up, I gotta get a timer ready.
Can everyone hear me well? Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you have 5 minutes, you can be.
Vice President Haas and senators, the student body needs us now more than ever. Students are struggling financially, socially, mentally. These are really some of the scariest times of our lives, and we need to make sure that students know their voices are being heard and advocated for. This body has great potential. It's time for SGA to use the power it has to make change. That means putting forward meaningful legislation to help students. Last year, the focus was on making this association better, and it succeeded. The Senate is better equipped to serve the student body than ever before. With creating more co-equal branches, it is time for the legislature to step up and put forward more legislation than ever before. Previously, the executive branch was leading all legislation, writing all bills, and held almost all the power and influence. I'm here to tell you I have the leadership skills, experience, drive, and vision to ensure the legislature takes on its new power and advocates for students in the best possible way. I have spent the last semester working in the United States Senate for New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. I've seen the way she interacts with other senators, the way she crafts legislation, and the way she leads with people she doesn't agree with. The opportunity to learn from an amazing federal legislator gives me the unique opportunity to bring these skills to our university. Although I have always been very thorough in my analysis of legislation, working in the Senate has made me even more so. Every day I would review legislation and provide summaries to both a legislative and a press team. I have worked closely with some of the best legislators on the Hill, learning what makes good legislation, what makes it publicly supported, and how to get it passed and implemented. I have helped draft letters to different government organizations, asking them to do a variety of things. I plan to do that as speaker to push the university administration to work harder for all students. I have the practical experience to make sure this organization functions properly and effectively. As the Speaker of the Senate, I would ensure every senator feels their voice is being heard and their ideas are being implemented. I would ensure meetings are run effectively and efficiently. I understand and value everyone's time and recognize there is more to everyone's life than SGA. As Speaker, I would find time to meet with every single one of you to learn what your goals are for this session and help everyone get in contact with people with similar goals. It's really hard to write legislation on your own, and I know if I know everyone's goals, I will be able to help people work together and we can create the best legislation possible. I have never liked working alone, and I value the opinions of my peers greatly. You will never feel blindsided by decisions I make, as I believe transparency is the single most important thing in government. I intend to put together a legislative team that will listen to all senators and give ample time to all ideas. There will be conflict in the legislative branch, and there should be. But no one should ever feel as if they do not have a place and do not have a say in what is best for students. There will inevitably be conflict among the branches. It's impossible not to. I have a good gauge on when to compromise, when to back down, and when to stick to my guns. I have seen conflict within this body and was able to act in an official capacity as an unbiased mediator. The issues were able to be solved quickly, efficiently, and without much bloodshed. One of the major roles of the Speaker is the ability to remain unbiased in times of conflict among senators. Though I am deeply passionate, I have always believed it is best to listen to all sides and attack every problem with all the information. I have no allegiances in this body other than to the well-being of students. I am detail-oriented and extremely organized. I'm involved on campus, from Greek life to the sunflower. It's not uncommon for me to be on campus from 8 in the morning until 8 p.m. or later. I love being around campus and talking to students. Attending events and seeing all the amazing things students accomplish here is my favorite part of being a shocker. Last semester, I was able to juggle 2 leadership positions in my sorority, being an SGA senator, writing for the Sunflower, taking 18 credit hours, and working a part-time job. That takes organization, time management, and prioritization. I have since scaled back my involvement because of my interest in this position. I'm taking fewer credit hours. I've scaled back my involvement in my sorority and the Sunflower. I have positioned myself to be fully prepared to pour myself into this role and do everything it takes to ensure the success of the Senate. There will be new challenges this year. If the semester doesn't start on campus in the fall, we're going to have to work extra hard to ensure students' voices are still being heard. I will work hard over the summer to create opportunities and ideas to get every senator the opportunity to speak with constituents. I know how hard it can be to do that, and as speaker, it would be my job to give all of you all possible opportunities to succeed. The Senate hour requirement will not be the reason anyone drops from SJ this session. I am prepared to work with all of you to ensure all students are heard. I have never shied away from a fight surrounding my principles. I know how important this body is for students, and I look forward to the opportunity to work with you all. I yield the remainder of my time, but I don't have any, so.
The floor is now open for 3 minutes for questions and answers by members of the Senate. Are there any questions for Senator Bobbin? Vanessa or Senator Tron?
Hi, I remember you serving in the previous session, and I just wanted to see your reason for resignation again. I totally forgot.
Yeah. So I was in the 62nd session during the fall semester. The reason I resigned is because I have spent the last semester in Washington, D.C., working for New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. And so because I was not in Wichita, I was unable to serve as the Liberal Arts and Sciences Senator for the spring.
Awesome, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Kirk?
Yes. So, I mean, it's obvious to, everyone that you have tons of experience, and I applaud you for that. One question that I do have is that, so since you have all of this experience, how can you make yourself available, and not even just available, how can you make yourself approachable to those that maybe, I don't want to say threatened, but might be intimidated by some of these big roles that you have said? Like you said, you were up in Washington, D.C., working with senators up there. That's huge. Not many people your age can say that. How can you make yourself approachable for people like that?
That's a really good question. I think that for me personally, I have a lot of experience. I've had a lot of people tell me that I scare them, I guess, because I'm really well spoken and I have a problem turning off my formal voice. But I mean, if you want to know more about me, I really love Star Wars and Harry Potter and all of these really nerdy things. If it makes anyone feel better, I've been jamming to One Direction for the last month in quarantine. I think that, while I do have a lot of experience, I pride myself on putting myself out there and taking advantage of every opportunity I'm given. I also understand that not everyone can do the amazing things that I've been able to do, and that everyone is still valid and still has all of these experiences that are sometimes even more helpful than anything that I've had. So I really hope that I am as approachable as possible. I really want people to come talk to me. I'm a really social person. So does that answer your question? Okay.
Senator Uhrig?
So you said in your speech that you have never been one to shy away from a fight regarding your principles. Can you just summarize some of those things that are really important to you for those of us that may not know you or be familiar with your record?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say probably the things that are absolutely the most important to me. So I am a double major in political science and journalism. So freedom of speech and everyone having the ability to speak proudly about what they believe in, no matter what that is incredibly important to me. The power of the press is very important to me. That's something I want to focus on for the rest of my life. Other things that I'm really passionate about women's rights. I mean, I work for basically the feminist senator right now. So that's huge for me. I've worked in my sorority with creating an inclusion and diversity task force. So issues of diversity and inclusion are also very important to me. And I think that I'm passionate about most things, I would say. You can probably ask Mackenzie, she's my sorority sister. I have a tendency to just go on tangents about things. So I hope that answers your question. If you want to know more specifically, anyone can ask. So.
Any further questions? Yes, Senator Thompson.
Speaking of Senator Gillibrand, what did you learn from her campaign that you would most want to implement in the Student Senate?
That is a really good question. So first, I want to clarify, I didn't work for her campaign. I work for her Senate office. She did run for president though, so that was really cool when she was doing that. But so the big things that I've done is I write a lot of letters, I write a lot of press releases, I write a lot of grant releases, things like that. And specifically, it's letter writing that I really want to bring into the Senate, because I think that writing letters is a great way for the Student Senate to be able to push our influence in things that we don't have direct control over. So that could be writing a letter to administration because we disagree with the way that they've been funding something. It can be writing a letter to a specific department because they aren't in accordance with a bill that we've recently passed. And so writing letters is a way for, again, the Student Senate to just push influence. And so I would want it to be something the speaker does, something the chairs will do, the committees will do, even individual senators, so that if there's something specific that you're passionate about that you can't necessarily write legislation on, there's still a way for you to be passionate and be open about that with the student body.
Any further questions? Okay. Seeing none, Olivia, if you'll join our breakout room and send Senator Zacharias in.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Gabe?
Yep, and then I'm gonna let Crystal know.
Okay, okay. Do you want me to message the people in our waiting room?
No, I got it ready.
Okay, cool.
Ready.
Okay. Oh, sorry, the floor is open for 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. This fall, I am going to be a senior studying psychology and minoring in sociology. I have been involved in SGA since my freshman year. I joined initially as a liberal arts and sciences senator. This last session, I was fortunate enough to be the chair of safety and student services, as well as the alternate president pro tempore. I have been involved in campus largely through SGA by joining multiple university and association committees like student fees or the parking appeals committee. And I am honestly not very spread out. The only other major time commitment that I devote myself to is the McNair Research Program because I am doing my own research for my major. So one of my goals for this session is to make Senate as transparent as possible. In the past and even now, students feel disenfranchised by SGA, and I want to change that by helping senators first. I feel like if we transition into our roles with more ease, instead of having struggle or awkward phases, as many past senators have, we can be the leaders that the student body has placed us to be. I think the main thing that is keeping us from that is resources. We have the resources available, however, they're not presented to senators in the best way. Upping the participation of the student body in SGA starts with upping the participation of our senators. I do want to change a few things in Senate, but most of them, I just want to be a resource for other senators. It can be really hard to get into Senate. The meetings are long, the hours are kind of weird. You don't know where you belong first. And initially we just give these little summaries of what each committee is, and then ask them in their interview, where do you want to go? I think that if we do weekly check-ins with new senators and training meetings that are more specified with our new senators, we will have a better outcome in retaining our members and also having them be more present on campus. I also want to change the way that senators choose their committees. I think it's very important that the senators meet their chairs before they're choosing their committees. And I hope to be able to meet in with our applicant senators with the vice president when they are being interviewed, so I can get more individual feels. I really want to individualize the Senate and focus on people's strengths. I, as a person, cannot do everything. I can have all this passion. I'm in SGA and there's really no personal gain for me because it's not related to my major at all. I am just passionate to be here. And I can give it my all as I have for the last couple of years, but that won't make a difference. Our power is in our numbers, and our numbers are cultivated by preparing our senators. And that's what I want to do for this next session.
Thank you, Senator Zacharias. The floor is now open for 3 minutes of questions and answers by members of the Senate. If there are questions, please hit your hand, raise your hand. Senator Majors?
Hey, Senator Zacharias. I just wanted to ask you, in your 4 years in the Senate, what things have you learned that would be applicable to this position that you think will help you be the best Speaker of the Senate that you could be? Yes, for example.
So with my experience, I've been able to see a lot of holes. One of the larger holes that I saw was the agenda in general. While a lot of my changes might seem minor, I think it would increase the functioning that we have. So with the current agenda, we have our reports and our more personalized items, our appointments and so on. And as Speaker, you have the power to change that. And I think a big change would be putting our students first in the agenda. How are we supposed to convince our students that we put them first in all of our efforts if they're not even first in our agenda? And I know that's a really small change, but I think just changing the attitude of SGA, changing our formalities, changing the way that we address, SGA seems cold. Students say that SGA doesn't represent them, that it just pats themselves on their back for appointing new senators and writing bills that gives themselves money. We need to show students that we are putting them first. And by doing that, we need to educate ourselves on the matters that we are passionate about. So a lot of senators might look at a committee in particular and think, oh, I would be great in this committee because it has a word that stands out to me that connects to what I want to do, and then find that that committee really doesn't do that. I think unless that we are more transparent in our own organization, we will never be transparent to the student body in the way that we need to.
Any further questions for Senator Zacharias? Okay, seeing none, we will ask you, Senator Zacharias, to go back to your breakout room, and we'll have Senator Mounts come in.
Hello. Am I recognized to speak, Madam President?
Yes, Senator Mounts, go ahead.
Alrighty, thank you. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone for joining us today, both senators, yourselves, the media, and also anyone who's watching on YouTube. I hope that you're all staying safe and continue to social distance. I think that it's super important during this time, as a lot of cases, especially in the Sedgwick County area, still haven't peaked. So we need to continue to social distance and make sure that we're all here for each other in this unprecedented time. So I come before you today because I want to serve as your Speaker of the Senate during the 63rd session. I know a decent amount of you, but for those of you who I do not know, nice to meet you. My name is Erin Mounts. I attended Cheney Public Schools my entire life and am now a junior double majoring in Spanish and International Studies with a minor in linguistics. So I want to talk a little bit about my experience in SGA. I specifically remember but even before I was a student at Wichita State, that I wanted to be involved in student government wherever I went. I did 2 years of student council in my high school. I was also leader of my section in my band for 2 years, and my senior year was actually a drum major as well. So that kind of got me started in that leadership position, as well as working to create a gender and sexuality alliance at my high school, something that had never been done there before. And something that I definitely think a small town high school should have, especially near Wichita, and that all high schools should have. So that was something that I worked on for about 3 years, from my sophomore year until I graduated high school. So I knew once I started, looking at WC and when to come, that I wanted to get involved in student government immediately. My original plan was to do a political science major. I've kind of moved on a little bit from that to international studies, but I still want to be involved in government in some way whenever I do graduate. So I specifically remember coming during in June, the summer before my freshman year, to an activities fair, and there was a bunch of student organizations there. And I immediately knew I wanted to go talk to the people at the SGA table. And when I got there, it was completely empty. Not a single soul in sight, not even a single flyer. It was just the sign saying the table was SGA. And that moment really stuck with me. When I ended up joining student government in October of 2018, I had been talking to former business senator and former chairwoman, Anicia Brumley. She was my mentor actually in the Passage to Success program that the Office of Diversity and Inclusion puts on. So she mentored me through, and I remember we talked for hours just about SGA, like the history of it, like who were former presidents, like what the culture was like, et cetera. And so eventually I was nominated and appointed into the 61st session as a Liberal Arts and Sciences senator. There, I actually authored my first resolution with now President Senator Han, R6112, solidarity with New Zealand mosque victims after the attack on the 2 mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand. And actually you can see I have them hanging up back here. That's that resolution. And then this one right here is the letter I received from the Office of the Prime Minister of New Zealand for sending our sentiments and things like that. So obviously, like, Senate has a real world impact. And so that brings me to why I want to run. I'm running for speaker because I want to make sure I'm doing my best to make sure that the Senate remains functional and involved even during the crisis such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Senate is my passion. I've been in it for almost 2 full years now. This is my 3rd session. And in that time, I've had a lot of experiences to see different Senates, and I definitely have seen within the last 2 sessions a more lay Senate, some that rubber stamps just stuff that maybe a handful of like 5 or 10 people write, legislation that 5 or 10 people write. So this year, I think that needs to be different, especially with the fact that the executive branch is no longer as involved in the Senate. It is time for someone to step up and do that job. And I think as someone who, at least if I remember correctly, has the most consecutive experience in the Senate, I believe I'm that person to do so. I've written many bills, even the most recent one that I wrote passed, and actually it was the COVID, I don't remember, it's a Continuity of Governance Act, I believe, which laid out a kind of a plan of like what Senate should look like and what Senate will do in the case of a current pandemic or crisis or something like that. So, I have been very involved in writing legislation, both, for the functions of student government, which is important for a speaker to know, obviously, but also, I've been involved in multiple different areas across the university. I've worked 1.5 years with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. I'm going on my 2nd year now of being a Passage mentor as well, in the footsteps of my former mentor. And so, yeah, I think that is it. I've done enough talking, so I just want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to me today. And I will say that student government is not easy. I have definitely succeeded in a lot of areas, and I've definitely failed in a lot of areas. And every single one of those has been a learning experience. And so I hope that you will support me to be your 63rd session Speaker of the Senate, and I am now open to questions.
Thank you, Senator Mounts. The floor is now open for 3 minutes of questions, and we'll begin with Senator Flores.
Hi, so I don't mean this in a antagonistic way, but given that in the 62nd session, you were pressured into resigning from the leadership role that you had in your committee, what makes you think that you're ready to step into an even bigger leadership role for the 63rd session?
Yes, thank you, Senator Flores. I will admit that I did resign from my position due to pressure of my committee members this last session. I think that when I originally saw that the position was open, I applied for it and then no one else had applied. So I decided to go for it and take that step. And I personally do not think I was ready. I was not educated enough in a lot of diversity topics. And after months of me not really understanding, but not really grasping what was going on, I definitely think, there was that aspect. And then I also had been working full time, was taking 18 hours. And I don't think I had set myself up for success. In fact, I'd set myself up for failure. But that being said, I've had quite a few months now to kind of get everything back together. I was going through, I would say, I'll be honest, I was going through a pretty massive depression during that time, which I know, seasonal depression is a thing. So it definitely, that didn't help either. But now I've sought out help, for dealing with my mental health, of course. I have definitely been like thinking about, like how Senate should look. And I think that with my current, abilities, and also just with how I've kind of carried myself the last couple of months, trying to figure out, getting everything together that I need to have together to make sure that, I was able to run for this position. I think I've done so.
Great, thank you, Senator Mounts. Next question is from Senator Kirk.
Yes, so we can, again, I can see, we can all see that you have tremendous amount of just gusto. That's one thing I pride you on. But one thing I would like to ask from you, to be really direct with all of us, to say what is like that one thing that holds you back from anything, a weakness, and how can you, I don't want to say prevent it from being in there, because we all have our weaknesses and we all have them come at us at random times. But what is one of your biggest weaknesses, and how do you go about letting that not affect your work?
So I think I actually kind of have two. My first one is I am a procrastinator. My mom is a procrastinator. My grandma is a procrastinator. It always runs in my family. I've been actively trying to work on that the last couple of years, trying to make sure that that doesn't affect my quality of work. And sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's failed. But I know in this position, this is something that I am incredibly passionate about, and have put multiple unneeded hours into, to make sure something gets done on time. So I think that, that's my first weakness that I am trying to currently work around. The other thing that I know, I tend to get really inside my head, and like once I have a decision made, I tend to just only think about the decision and getting it done. I will say one thing I did lack during my leadership as DEI chair was I did not listen to my committee members, and that mistake will stick with me for the rest of my life. And so I, have every meeting since then. And I think one other thing is like attending the Model UN conference with, I believe with Senator Flores, and there might be someone else in this call. That really helped bring my perspective of like how important consensus building is. And so that's something that I know in SGA has not existed. So I think that, going through that whole thing, and then seeing kind of this consensus, seeing the importance of consensus building, and also like how important it is to really support everyone around you. That is something that how I'm trying to get over that kind of weakness.
Senator Hull.
Hi, Senator Mounts. So obviously as a new senator, what way, like for me, that's important. So what ways are you going to support overall, like all senators / like the new senators who are still trying to figure out how to talk to their constituents and find their place within the Senate?
Yes, so I have been thinking in depth a lot about like the way I wanted to approach my senators. And I think a one-on-one approach, especially like during the summer, is going to be a very great opportunity. I envision if you guys do elect me, that I'm going to be reaching out each one of you individually, seeing where your like weaknesses lie, what your strengths are, what your interests are, and then what you want to do for your constituency. And as for experience, I definitely like keep an open door policy. If you ever have any questions about how anything works, I'm always here to talk to you. I'm always here to give answers. And then, and I know we do senator trainings in I believe the fall. I don't know how that's going to work this year. But my plan was to completely revamp that entire, the entire process, because I don't think the senator training has been very effective the last couple of years, and I've definitely seen it. So that is, those are kind of the things I'm wanting to look forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, senators. The questioning period is now up, timed out, is now over. So we're gonna bring the other two candidates and senators in to the main call and continue.
So they're actually going to head out to do, now the Senate will debate on the three. So Erin will go back into the breakout room.
That's what's going to happen.
I think you have to do it yourself, Erin. How do I send you to a breakout room?
Put in waiting room.
Oh, there you go.
Erin. Hold on. He's in the waiting room. Erin?
No, yeah, he's gone.
No, he's here.
Where? Okay, so hold on. Everybody relax. I'm gonna figure this out again.
Send me back to the breakout room.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Do you not see a button that says, oh, nope, I figured it out.
Perfect. Sorry I kicked you out of the meeting.
No, I didn't. You're fine. I'm just going to send you to the waiting room because I don't know how to do it.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, bye.
Okay, at this time, the presentation of the nominees is now over, so we'll begin on this portion of the election. At this time, all nominees for speaker are dismissed. They're dismissed. Does anyone wish to speak in debate? If you do, please just raise your hand. Perfect. Senator Flores.
Before you do that, Senator Flores, so kind of explaining to everyone, debating is a time where you can kind of talk about the candidate, you can share who you want to support, you can talk about the pros and cons, whatever it is. The rules for debate during the election of the speaker are specific. There's only a 10-minute process in each round, and we will have a second round because there's more than 2 candidates, so that there is only 10 minutes allowed for debate in each round. But it's a time for you to talk, share your thoughts, pros, cons about them. You can share who you will be supporting. It's the way that you kind of whip the votes on the floor to a particular candidate. So just FYI of what that process looks like.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Gabe. So Senator Flores.
Yeah, so hello to all of my fellow senators, whether you're returning or you're new, I look forward to working with you. I served in the 60-second session, and I am planning on supporting Senator Bobbin as speaker, because she has shown throughout the last session such a level of dedication and professionalism, and she has such an amazing passion for student government while still being able to keep her biases in check to make sure that she's representing all students, which I think is incredibly admirable. And one thing that I thought was funny was about how she mentioned that sometimes she gets comments about how she's not personable. Personally, I do not agree at all. I was in a committee with her last session, and Senator Bobbin, for the first week, was intimidating just because of how knowledgeable she was. But then it quickly became apparent that she was so willing to help and cooperate with people, and especially in our committee when there were issues that were going on and transitions from leadership roles. She was quick to step in, and the transition was so seamless and smooth. And she was just incredibly competent at her job. And even when she had gone off to Washington, D.C., she still stayed involved and stayed in contact with other senators and made sure that if I ever had a question, I was free to message her about things, even though she was in D.C. And she was no longer a senator. She still was a valuable resource. And I really cannot think of anyone who is a good exemplification of what a senator should be. And she provides such a good role model, which is why I will be supporting her. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Flores. Senator Vargas.
Yes, I just had kind of a couple of things. So whenever we do these types of discussions and Q&As for people that are elected, it's interesting, or I don't know, I've watched presidential debates and there's a moderator, so everyone gets asked kind of the same questions. In these situations, if we don't know the people or them on a personal or even professional level, if there's not moderated questions for every person. The reason I'm asking this is it seemed like Senator Mounts was asked some questions about weaknesses and things like that, and the other senators weren't asked those things. So it kind of seemed like his responses were a little skewed towards things that weren't very, I don't want to say not positive, because I understand there's both sides to governmental processes, but how does that work? How do we get to know these things from the senators, or, you know, if people know other people in the group, like through group Greek affiliations, like, are we to assume that those people will have like those votes if someone's not associated with Greek life and they don't have that support inside of this group, that people will kind of have automatic votes for them based on those affiliations? Like, how do we avoid those things from happening if there's no like moderation?
Yeah, Senator Vargas, I think that's a good question. And you know, this is going to sound like a terrible answer, so I apologize. There's not necessarily a mechanism within the Senate to control that. When we think about the 40 people who sit in the Senate, the 40 people will ask the questions that they want to ask in ways that they want to ask. I think it's hard for us to moderate a process in which is not necessarily designed to do that. We'll have very similar experiences when you get ready to look at the candidates for the other position. So unfortunately, there's not necessarily a process for that, and that's not necessarily a cop-out answer. It's just the reality of the situation of it. But I think that's a very good point to bring up, and we can definitely make note of that, and we can find some time to chat about it and talk about ways that in which we can develop those processes for these kinds of elections. But I mean, unfortunately, there's not a current process on the table right now in engaging in that mechanism.
Are we able to do like recommendations for like bills in order to change this process?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. I think that would be good. I just feel like maybe he got asked some quote tougher questions that highlighted maybe different things to his stance. I don't know anyone personally, so this is not, you know, in any way based on personal affiliations. I just was listening to question answer and I was like, man, he's really getting asked some questions that are kind of skewing, but he was really honest. He said some things that take a bit of bravery to state. You know, with the things he went through during his last semester, we've probably all had experiences with that or known people who have, so I'm taking that in consideration. But I don't know, that was my only question. I'd probably like to propose something like that at that time to make a change to how that happens, so everyone kind of has like more of a equitable chance when they state their points in their positions on things. So
absolutely, yeah, we can find some time and we can chat about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator Vargas. Senator Majors.
Hey everyone, I'm Senator Majors. Oh, wait, can you hear me?
You're good. I'm sorry I muted you.
Oh, no, it's fine. So I'm going to be advocating for Senator Zacharias for a multitude of reasons. The first that I would mention is her experience. As she mentioned, she's been here since she was a freshman. And in evaluating experience, it's not necessarily the most important thing, but in the student government, it is a very important thing, given that it's such a different ballgame than, I mean, really anything else in student government. I mean, there are comparisons you can draw, but this is something of in itself that's very unique. And so I think that Senator Zacharias is uniquely capable for this position for a few reasons. First of all, she is one of the people in the Senate, for those of us who served in the 60-second session, she frequently checked the procedural items that were occurring in the Senate. So for example, if the vice president who previously ran the Senate, if you weren't here or familiar with what we did last year, this is new to all of us. So new senators and senators that have been here before, the Speaker of the Senate is a new position. And so they're going to control a lot of the procedural items. And specifically, Senator Zacharias was very, very educated on the procedures of the Senate, when to conduct the votes in the right way. And the Speaker of the Senate is now going to have the power, or at their own discretion, be able to choose how votes are taken and what votes will be used at what times. So with that immense power comes great responsibility, to quote every superhero movie. But Senator Zacharias can really be a great person for this position for that reason alone, because she is always checking the procedural items. And then lastly, her ability to engage students. While serving as the chair of the student safety committee, she did a multitude of events. She did coffee or cookies with a cop or something along the lines of that, and, you know, kind of got students engaged with the university police force, which is something that doesn't usually happen and something that definitely does need to happen. That's a barrier that needs to be broken. And she just was very forward about making SGA her priority. She's not spread thin, as she mentioned, and I think that she would be able to put an immense amount of focus and effort towards this position. And I would be voting for her today, and I would urge all of you to do the same.
Thank you, Senator Major. Senator Kirk?
Yes, so I'm going to be, my vote will be going towards Olivia Bobbin. And the reason why she moved me so much is, I mean, I know all of the candidates pretty well, and when we started asking Olivia questions, I mean, she was extremely blunt, which all of them were. But the thing about Olivia that really moved me was way before. Last semester, I got put on to Senate, and one of my biggest things that I'm working on is for the College of Fine Arts to be able to be, one, heard by everyone, but two, be updated and to be just cared about, because a lot of our buildings are just trash. So I'm working on that and going towards that, and I've been getting a lot of help by other senators, but she wasn't even in the session, and she somehow got my number and started like asking me, hey, what can I do for you? Hey, like this is what I'm seeing, what can we do? She's actively going towards like going to people that are doing things, and even those that are people that aren't doing things, and what can we do to better your area? What can we do? Insert whatever here. She, to me, as a previous senator said, student government is very specific and very oriented towards us, and I completely agree with that. But I don't want us to minus or think little of the fact that we have a candidate that has worked in Washington, D.C., along senators that actually take care of our country. That to me is a little bit of a selling point, but the biggest selling point for me is how confident she is, one, but the biggest thing is how just she is determined to not focus on directly in SGA, but focus upon the students. That is one thing that I believe gets forgotten sometimes. Like, yes, we need to focus on SGA. We're just here. We're going to do what we can for ourselves. But we need to focus on what's good for the whole entire university, not just our colleges and not just each other, everyone. And I believe wholeheartedly that she very truly cares about every single college and every single person in it. And I will totally be voting for her, and I strongly urge you to do the same as well.
Thank you, Senator Kirk. Senator Chibok?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me? Okay, great. So I just wanted to throw my hat in the ring, say that I will be voting for Senator Bobbin. I think a new face in kind of this newer SGA format, and with all the changes that we made, would be really refreshing and great to have kind of new ideas moving around. Just keeping it brief, she seems extremely prepared, very organized, and very to the point, and I like that. She's also one of the only candidates that reached out to me to let me know beforehand that she was running for this position, and that she had if I had any questions, she'd be willing to answer them. So I was just impressed with that. So that's all I have to say about it, but I would encourage you guys to vote for her as well. So
Thank you, Senator Chibok. Senator Turan?
Hi, am I good to go?
Yes.
Awesome. So I had the pleasure to get to know and work with all three candidates. I just wanted to highlight that all of them have their strengths. Bobbin specifically having her experience like in Washington, D.C., Senator Zacharias with her experience within SGA, and Senator Mounts, he is really well educated in like parliamentary procedure, and that's a big role that the Speaker of the Senate will be playing, and to keeping and like running the meeting, making sure that everything is on task and like germane and all that. And he really does know his thing. But I wanted to bring to light that I will be voting in favor of Senator Zacharias. I had the pleasure of serving on her Safety and Student Services Committee. She definitely advocated for students and used her role to like really bring the community or administration to the students. She served on the Parking Appeals Committee, which if any of you have to do that, you know that takes a lot of time, as well as on the student fees. So she does the jobs that no one else wants to do, and she does them like willingly and happily to serve the students. And I just think that although Senator Babin, although she has the experience within like US government, I just think that maybe her strengths would lie more as like chief of operations or something of that sort. But Senator Zacharias really knows her ins and outs of being a senator, really wants to advocate to put us first within the association so that we can better serve students. And yeah, so I just wanted to let you all know that.
Great, thank you, Senator Tron. With that, the debate period is now over. So at this time, all nominees for the speaker are invited back to participate in the vote. The ballot will be open and in the chat box. Is it there, Gabe? It will be in the chat box soon. And then once it is in the chat box, you all have 6 minutes to complete the vote. And don't forget to put your name and vote for who you're voting for.
You should now see it in the chat box. You might have to like copy and paste it to like a thing. Mackenzie, what's the total number of attendance?
It says it won't let Olivia copy. We have 42 in attendance.
It says it won't let Olivia what?
Copy? That's what she says. Oh, it won't let anyone copy.
Okay, I'm gonna email it to everyone.
Sorry, everyone. Gabe, we actually have 42 minus 3, so 39 senators and 42 total participants.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, you should get it in your email now.
Happy voting.
And we reset the time. Say the number again.
39 total senators, 42 total participants.
Okay, thank you.
My sprinklers just turned on. Can you tell me if you can hear them?
Not
No?
really.
Okay. Okay.
Mackenzie, I'm gonna call you on your cell phone really quick.
Okay. I can mute myself.
Oh, sorry. I'm actually FaceTiming you. There's still 1 more minute left in the voting period, FYI.
Okay. Okay, seeing as how the voting period is closed, we had 1 nominee receive the majority of votes, so there is no need to go into a round 2 of voting. With the voting period now over, the Speaker of the Senate shall be Senator Bobbin. Congratulations, and therefore, without objection, forced by the conclusion of the election, the Senate passes Senate Resolution 63-001, election of the Speaker of Senate. Congratulations, Senator Bobbin. We will now move into the new business section, appointing the, into section 7, new business. Acting Clerk Gabriel Fonseca will read Bill 63001. I'm so sorry, everyone. Appointing the position of underserved senator.
Senate Bill 63-001, appointing the position of underserved senator, authored by Mackenzie Haas, Vice President of the Association. By the authority vested in her as the President of the Association by the Constitution and the laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association, she hereby appoints Camilla Grubbs to the position of underserved senator.
Does the author wish to speak to this bill? I will just say that Camilla wowed us in her interview and really would love the opportunity to speak on behalf of her constituencies. She's organized, passionate about policy, and she really wants to serve the underserved population of Wichita State. With that, are there any questions for the author? Okay, seeing none, I will admit her into the meeting and we will see if the nominee would like to speak.
Oh, wrong one.
Hi, Kathleen.
She just came in.
I see her. How did you pin her?
Oh, there she goes.
Hi, Camilla. Would you like to speak?
Okay, so just introduce myself, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm Camilla Gomes. I'm originally from the island of St. Martin in the Caribbean, born and raised. I'm a sophomore at Wichita State studying political science with a minor in communication. Currently, I am the 2019 Delta Mu chapter Miss Black and Old Gold for Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated on campus. And I also write for the Sunflower newspaper. In general, my history when it comes to politics and administration work and in those areas, I held the position of president from 2016 to 2018 of the St. Martin Youth Parliament. And I was a part of the St. Martin Youth Parliament since 2011. And basically during my tenure, I helped with working on legislation that dealt with youth issues and presented it to the actual Parliament of St. Martin. And with that, that's where most of like my legislator and policy work experience truly come from. I feel like I can bring that experience as well, also learning new stuff with different systems and help bring a change to WSU, especially as an underserved senator.
Amazing. Are there any questions for the nominee? Yeah, Senator Tron.
Hi,
Hi. I just wanted to congratulate you on your previous experiences, and I wanted to ask what specific changes you had in mind for if you became a senator of the 63rd session.
One of my main goals that we wanted to focus on was to make sure to have a proper link between the SGA and the different minority communities on campus. So to create like a core group or a interest group from the different minority groups so we could hash out experiences and things that they want to see change on campus. And then of course I will present this within the Senate.
Awesome, thank you.
Any further questions for the nominee? Okay, seeing none, the nominee may either stay or leave for debate.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We will now debate on the bill. Senator Bobbin.
So Vice President Haas and senators, I have had the opportunity to work with Ms. Gums on a lot of different things, whether that be working with her on the Sunflower. We've also been partners in a couple of classes, and I know that Camila works really hard and that she's really passionate about a lot of different things, and she's Miss Black and Gold, which is the coolest thing ever. If you've never attended a Miss Black and Gold pageant, you're missing out. They're the best things. And I really think that she would be a great person to serve the underserved community at Wichita State, and I will absolutely be voting in affirmation of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bobbin. Senator Majors.
Yeah, so I think the qualifications speak for themselves. I think we'd be honored to have her in this Senate. And with that being said, I'd like to motion to pass by unanimous consent.
Mackenzie, you would ask, are there any objections?
Are there any objections?
And if someone has an objection, you click yes or no. An objection means that it would force the vote, not just pass it by unanimous consent.
Seeing an objection?
So no, there's no objection. Oh yeah, there's one.
No. Is that a second by Senator James?
No, that's an objection.
That's what it?
Yeah, so now you just call the vote.
Okay, wait, can I unmute him? His hand is up.
Yes.
Hello, Zachary, Senator James.
Hello. So I just did that just because we have new senators and they may not know what it means to pass by unanimous consent. So I just didn't want to do that without us explaining what it is first.
Yeah, so unanimous consent for everyone for those who are new, it means that we don't actually conduct a vote, which means that unanimous consent, unless there's an objection to it, means that there's 100%, everyone votes in favor of it, or doesn't necessarily take a vote. So that means of the 39 senators, it would pass by unanimous consent with no one in favor, no one against, and it just passes without an actual vote being recorded. An objection to that forces a vote to be conducted. So because there's been an objection, we then will force the vote.
Okay. So now that the voting period, please go ahead and place your vote by saying yes or no.
Yep. So in the participants page, you'll see the yes or no. If you click participants, you say you're voting in favor, you click yes. Voting no, click no. Go slower means you're abstaining.
Okay. The bill passes with 38 in favor, 1 abstention, and 0 against. And so with that,
congratulations.
Congratulations.
You can stay on the meeting if you want, or you can head out, up to you.
Okay. So moving on to SB-63-002, appointing the position of Fine Arts Senator.
Hold on one second. Senate Bill 63-002, appointing the position of Fine Arts Senator, author Mackenzie Haas, Vice President of the Association, by the authority vested in her as Vice President of the Association by the Constitution and laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association. She hereby appoints Hannah Warden to the position of Fine Arts Senator.
Does the author wish to speak to the bill? I shall speak. Hannah, in her interview, spoke very highly of the Student Government Association and the work we have done thus far. She's very excited to work alongside Senator Kirk as a fine arts senator and advocating for fine arts majors. She also is minoring, I believe, in general business. So she brought that in as one of her top strengths, in that she would be able to see viewpoints from various colleges and be able to advocate for fine arts, not only for fine arts, but also for a variety of students as well, and ensure that she can spread fine arts love everywhere. So with that, if there are any questions for me, I'm open for questions. Okay, seeing none, does the nominee wish to speak? Anna?
Yes, I do wish to speak.
Go ahead. Hi. Yes.
Oh, hi. I'm Hannah Warden. I am a first year, and as you all know, I am majoring in studio arts, minoring in business. I'm hope to be excited to work with John Kirk. I've known him for a very long time, and him and I have already kind of discussed a few things prior to the meeting, and hopes to do a lot better for both the fine arts and us as a community.
Great. Are there any questions for the nominee? Senator Kirk.
Yes. So I'd like to have you elaborate. What are you planning on doing for the College of Fine Arts as a whole? What are some of your plans, if you have any?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time for me?
Yeah. So as of right now, what are some of your plans for the College of Fine Arts and specific visual arts that you are involved in?
Yeah, so with my visual arts, as even prior to wanting to join SGA, I've noticed a lot of students and some of the professors are having a little bit of troubles with kind of finding the right things to make it better. So I'm planning on not only going alongside John and making it more of a physical appeal for people to walk in, but I want to try to get more information on what I believe would be able to help like studio artists or like photographers, or a lot more on my visual side, since I'm not a lot on the musical side like you. So yeah, that's my plan. I want to get more closer with the students so they know that we're trying to do our best to make their college lives better.
Okay, any further questions for the nominee? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into the debate period. If there are any debates for the nominee, go ahead and raise your hand. Senator Kirk.
Surprise. So one thing I wanted to make clear to everyone is, yes, I have known Hannah since she was in like 5th grade. And one thing that she has to not just compliment for the College of Fine Arts, but for everyone, is she has a very good listening ear. She can listen to anyone literally all day and be non-biased and let them bring to her the concerns for SGA, for College of Fine Arts, or whatever it might be, so then she can bring them back to the president or vice president, just so we can talk about them and see what we can do to better them. To continue on that, she is just a very hard worker. She has done so much just in general for the visual arts as a whole right now. And to benefit just, I mean, on my side, I'm able to speak on behalf of performing arts and all of the things for music education and opera. However, I do not know much about visual arts and making things at all, not that kind of artsy fartsy like me. But she is very, very good at speaking on behalf of the Aldrich Museum and McKnight itself. And I want to urge all of you to vote for her, because she's not just, like she is minoring in business, she does not just care for the College of Fine Arts, she cares very highly for all of the university.
Thank you, Senator Kirk. Senator Eric.
So Hannah was actually my roommate at the beginning of this school year. And one thing that was just incredible to me was just this sheer amount of passion that Hannah brings to everything that she does. I have never seen someone who is so creative and passionate and driven, and it seemed like there was always something that she was working on in our room. And I know that a lot of the creativity that you would find in our room was because of Hannah. And even though I am not an artistic person really in any way, I cannot think of a better person to represent the fine arts students than Hannah.
Thank you, Senator. Any other? Oh, and Senator Flores.
Yeah, I'd like to motion to adopt by unanimous consent.
Okay. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we will adopt SB-63-002 by unanimous consent of the Senate. Gavel.
Congratulations. Hannah, you can stay on or you can leave. It's totally up to you.
With that, we will move into item C, SB-63-003, appointing the position of at-large senator. You gonna let them in?
Yep, almost there. SB-63-003, appointing the position of at-large senator, author Mackenzie Haas, Vice President of the Association, by the authority vested in her as Vice President of the Association by the Constitution and laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association. She hereby appoints Grant Copline to the position of at-large senator.
Does the author wish to speak to the bill? I will. In his interview, Grant showed great knowledge of politics and understanding of SGA and understanding of his goals for the future of Wichita State University and how he could make a difference on campus. And he really showed great initiative, and I think he would be a good addition to the Senate. With that, are there any questions for the author? Senator James?
Yeah, in the email you sent today, on line 4, it says to the position of underserved. Is this for underserved or at large?
Solid.
I'll make that edit.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Perfect. Would the nominee like to speak?
Sweet, there you go. Hi, I'm Grant, and I'd just like to say that I'm super excited for this opportunity, and I would really appreciate the chance to serve with you guys on the Student Government Senate, Association Senate.
Great. Are there any questions for the nominee? Senator Flores.
what are some goals that you have? Sorry, I keep seeing that I'm being muted and unmuted. Can everyone hear me?
You're good now.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to know what are some of the goals that you have if appointed?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of my major goals would be to increase involvement in registered student organizations on campus. I think that's something that really separates our university from the likes of Kansas University or Kansas State University is the fact that our club activity on our registered student organization activity on campus is significantly lower than their involvement. And I think that would be a major policy objective of my platform, is to just do and move towards policies that are more inclusive to increasing the involvement of registered student organizations and encouraging students to be a part of those.
Great. Senator Ehrig.
So what experiences with outside organizations are you bringing that are really going to drive your passion as a senator?
Would that be, are you talking about at Wichita State or off campus?
Yeah, I'm really asking, you seem like you have a big push for involvement in student organizations. So I just want to know, like, was there a specific organization that has really driven you to this passion? Or what are some things that you've learned from being in student organizations that you think are going to be useful or beneficial to the Senate?
Yeah, I am a member of Phi Delta Theta on campus, a Greek organization, and the College Republicans. I am the current president here on campus. I would say the major thing for me is that I think a major issue here at Wichita State is the fact that so many students here, and when they leave after 4 years, they don't feel a sense of loyalty or pride of the university. I've just met so many people that come to class 3 or 4 days a week, and then they go home to their apartment or house, and they don't really get that sense of belonging at the university. And I think that ultimately comes back to really affect the university in funding and donor base, because I mean, ultimately we are all the future donor base here at Wichita State, every one of us. And so I think a major thing that is become a systemic problem here at Wichita State is lack of funding for things compared to Wichita State, or compared to Kansas University and K-State University, excuse me. And so I think registered student organizations for me has been a fantastic for me to get involved on campus and for me to feel a sense of pride in attending Wichita State. And so I'd really, really like to see other students being able to have the opportunity to enjoy all of the wonders that Wichita State has to offer.
Senator Kirk.
Yes, so going to, since one of your biggest things is student orgs, how can you how can you guarantee that you can push for any and all student organizations that are registered? For instance, business organizations all the way over to the competitive a cappella group, Shacapella, that is on here on campus, like completely two different organizations. How can you guarantee to just be there for all of the orgs to get anyone in any college in something?
Yeah, I won't claim to know even a person in every single student organization on campus. I know a lot, but I by no means know everyone or every student organization here. I think that one way that I think as a senator I would use my platform is I would make it a huge goal of mine to ensure that almost every registered student organization policy piece that's up for vote, or any legislation that we're going to pass regarding that, I would make sure I get the advice, the opinion of as many student organizations on campus. I would really like to communicate with them ultimately maximum I can, and just make sure that their input is being heard. If one of them has a huge qualm with the legislation, I I would like to hear that. And I want everyone to know that their opinion would definitely go in my voting process. And so,
Any further questions? Oh, sorry.
no, that was it. Sorry.
Any further questions for the nominee? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into the debate on the nominee. Senator Kirk.
I move to adopt this candidate by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Senator Cretin, is your hand still up from debate? Hold on, I can't unmute you.
Yes, ma'am. I wasn't objecting at all. I was just trying to praise nominee Copeland in the same student organization as him, but I've also seen the drive that he has. He truly is a person who will represent this Senate well.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no objections, this SB-63-003 has been adopted by the Student Senate with the unanimous consent of the Senate. Moving on to item D, SB-63-004, appointing the position of Supreme Court Justice.
Grant, you can either stay or leave, totally up to you.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that.
Is Ridja back? Okay, yes, she's back. Okay. I know she's just, I'm pulling it up. Hold on 1 second. SB-63-004, appointing Shakis Yadav as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, authored by Ridja Khan, President of the Association. By the authority vested in her as President of the Association by the Constitution and laws of Wichita State Student Government Association, she hereby appoints Shashi Yadav to the position of Supreme Court Justice.
Does the author wish to speak on this bill?
Yes, I do. So for this nominee, during the interview, she presented great knowledge of how to make decisions and how to be unbiased in situations. And also when we were discussing her previous experience, she was able to talk to us about her experience in India and in their parliament, with their parliamentary procedures. Based off of all of those things, I believe this individual has the potential to learn and grow in our system. And therefore, I hereby nominate her for the Supreme Court Justice position.
Are there any questions for the author of the bill? Seeing none, we will go ahead. Does the nominee wish to speak to this bill?
Hello everyone, this is Sakshi and I am a freshman. I'm majoring in computer science. Well, I have chose to join this position because I want to make a difference in the university in terms of increasing students' welfare and progressing the university to the best ranking. I want a very fair environment to persist in the university, and I also want every student to abide by the rules of the university to ensure their safety and security. I want to be a decision maker full of unbiasedness, and I want to ensure equality and unity in the university. I give my word of honor that I will prove to be punctual, unprejudiced, well-organized, reliable, and honest to prove justice of my role. My urge to make a positive difference and to make the university community better is what brought me here to stand for the Supreme Court Justice position.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the nominee? Senator?
Hello. I guess my question is something that the president mentioned and that you have mentioned as well. I just would like some elaboration on it. How can you ensure all of us that you are completely unbiased to anyone in any college?
Well, I can make you sure that my decision will be unbiased because my decision will be logical in terms of the reasoning that will be provided by both of the appeals. And I will make sure that every decision which I'm going to make, I'll think about it, I'll discuss with the other committee members, and then I will go for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be do anything that that will not be in the welfare of the university.
Senator Bobbin.
Yes, hi. I would love to hear you talk a little bit about a situation where you have had to deal with conflict and act in sort of an unbiased mediator kind of way, just so that we can get a little bit more background on how specifically you handle these types of issues.
Okay, so I want to talk about my experience back in India because I have experienced the same thing that happened in SGA. I was in the youth parliament and I was the speaker on it. So in India, there are many issues going on in the politics, and I have handled them in the youth parliament because students present every kind of politics questions and issue, and they have to make debate on it. And the opposition party makes so many conflicts between the ministers and the members of the other ministry. So there was a conflict going on between the two members, and it was really hard to handle it. Otherwise, if I wasn't there to handle them, I'll make sure that time we wouldn't want that parliament. But because of that situation I've handled, we won the zonal level of that parliament.
Are there any further questions for our nominee? Seeing none, we will go ahead and get into the debate on this nominee.
I think before, just again, for reference for those who may not know, our Supreme Court is our third branch of government. They're of the two branches, the non-political branches of the three systems. Their job is to ensure that you all and the executives don't violate the Constitution, bylaws, or statutes. They're also, they exist for, knock on wood, it never happened, but if there's ever conflict between the executive and the legislative branch, it's the judicial branch who steps in to mediate that and then to ultimately rule on that. They're also our interpretive body, so their job is to interpret our Constitution, our bylaws, and our statutes, and to render opinions about what a piece of it says, what a section of it says. They're also able to overrule or shut down any decisions made by the Senate if they're deemed unconstitutional. So that's the student government aspect of it. At the institutional level, they serve as the appeal bodies for library and for parking and traffic. So words right now. Their power goes beyond also the student government. For the Supreme Court, it is a 2-year appointment, so they will stay longer than all of you because they will transition into the next session as well. So that's just some information about what the Supreme Court does within the association. And on top of that, because we've also created this new mechanism of truly the separation of the two branches, I envision the court becoming a lot more engaged and involved with ensuring that the two branches are doing the work that you all took an oath to do.
Thank you, Gabe. Senator.
I would like to speak in favor of this nominee. I think that she has really demonstrated, one, that she has a lot of experience, two, that she is incredibly knowledgeable and will really take student interest into heart and ensuring that everything is treated fairly. I truly believe that she would be a great nominee for this position. I encourage the rest of you to vote in favor for her as well. Thank you very much.
Senator Mounts.
I would also like to speak in favor of this nominee. They seem like they do have a good idea of what the position is, and they also have great experience in this kind of aspect of governance. And so I definitely think that this candidate is very well qualified, and I look forward to having them serve on the court. And I'll be voting in favor.
Are there any further debates? Senator Flores.
I move to adopt by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, SB-63-004 is adopted by unanimous consent of the Senate. Okay, moving on to item F, SB-63- E, SB-63-005, appointing the position of Chief of Staff.
SB-63-005, appointing the position of Chief of Staff by the authority vested in her as President, authored by Bridget Kahn, by the authority vested in her as President of the Association by the Constitution and laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association, she hereby appoints Kathleen Short to the position of Chief of Staff.
Does the author wish to speak on the bill?
All right, yes, I do. So the reason why I selected Kathleen Shorts is because she was in this position last semester or last session. She had shown her great work by collaborating not just with senators, but going to KBOR and collaborating with other universities and with their chief of staffs. So her returning into this position would be in our favor, as she already knows how KBOR functions and how she can chair those meetings. And also her work ethic is commendable, as I've had an opportunity as senator and Ways and Means Chair to work with her on certain piece of legislation. That being said, I urge all of you to vote in favor of this nomination.
Thank you, President Kahn. Any questions for the author? Okay, does the nominee wish to speak?
Hi, everyone. Obviously, I am Kathleen Short. I am currently a junior seeking a degree in political science and then another degree in strategic communications. My minor is in women's studies, and I am almost finished with a certificate of global competency. As soon as the semester's over, I've got that one. So during the 61st session of SGA, I was the out-of-state senator, as I have been for the last, hour. So also during the last few months of the 62nd session, I was the chief of operations, which means I've had experience with the Legislative Journal, and I literally wrote my own transition guide, which is always handy. So my passion is representing people well. Even though I won't be able to be the out-of-state senator, I will still be able to represent the out-of-state students alongside the rest of the Wichita State student body. I look forward to working with the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the rest of the cabinet as we learn what the position of Chief of Staff is about, since this is a new position. And I believe that communication is very important in representation and ensuring that the workings of the three branches are going as smoothly as possible. So I am an open book, and that being said, I stand for questions.
Any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, we will move into the debate period. Oh, just kidding. Sorry, Senator Babin.
Sorry, that was for debate, so I'll wait.
Oh, great. Let's debate. Senator Babin.
Okay. So I can't speak highly of Senator Short enough. I know that she is incredibly passionate about the things that she cares about. She is incredibly passionate about truly supporting students and being here for the entire student body. I know that she will be she's probably the best person I could ever think of to fill this role. She didn't talk about it, but she has a lot of experience in government herself, having worked in the United States Senate as well. And I really think that she would do an amazing job, and I encourage the rest of you to vote for her. Thank you very much.
Senator Flores.
Yeah, so Kathleen Short has been so good at her job. When she was Chief of Operations last session, it was a difficult time because we had just lost our current Chief of Operations, and then she had to take over in the middle of the session, and she did such a tremendous job over winter break. Before she was even appointed to the position, she went ahead and bought a book of Robert's rules so that she would know how to do her job, and had already done so much research into the position. Yeah, even before she had the chance, before she knew it was a guaranteed position that she had. And she went ahead and took on that responsibility ahead of time to make sure she was prepared. She did such a great job in terms of making sure that senators were knowledgeable about what was going on and making sure that meetings went on smoothly. And she has plenty of experience both in student government and in the actual US government, as previously mentioned. So yeah, I'd like to end that by saying I motion to adopt by unanimous consent.
If there are no objections, then SB-63005, appointing the position of Chief of Staff, passes the Student Senate by unanimous consent. Congratulations, Kathleen.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, moving on to item F, SB-63-006, appointing the position of Director of Public Relations.
SB-63-006, appointing the position of Director of Public Relations. Author Rijah Khan, President of the Association. By the authority vested in her as President of the Association by the Constitution and the laws of Wichita State University Student Government Association, she hereby appoints David Garcia to the position of Director of Public Relations.
Does the author wish to speak to this bill?
Yes, I do. So David Garcia has been in many leadership roles, and his commitment to his work is seen by everyone around him. He is willing to learn, and he is willing to put his 110% into things. With his experience on campus and in this field, I urge you all to vote in favor of him being a DPR for this association.
Are there any questions for the author? Seeing none, does the nominee wish to speak on this bill?
Yes, I would love to. So for those who may not know who I am, my name is David Garcia. I am a junior majoring in integrated marketing communications with a minor in political science. I am a first generation student. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am hoping to become the next director of public relations for the 63rd session of the Student Government Association here at Wichita State. I just quickly want to run over some things like reasons why I'm running, some qualifications I have, and goals. The main reason why I want to run for this position is because I love Wichita State. I'm really passionate about this community. And as Rijah just said, my involvement can back that up. I currently serve as the president of the Multicultural Greek Council. I'm a brother of Sigma Lambda Beta International Fraternity Incorporated. I am an ambassador for diversity and inclusion, and I also am a member of the Hispanic American Leadership Organization. With that being said, I feel Student Government Association is the next big step for me. It is a great way for students to advocate for our student body and ensure that our voice is heard to administration. I think this is a perfect place to merge my passion for the students here at Wichita State with my career aspirations as well. I am looking to go into public relations once I graduate. I have some experience in public relations, so I feel like this is just the perfect place for me to gain some experience and do something that I'm passionate about. So given what some qualifications that I kind of mentioned earlier, I do have very real world experience with public relations and news outlets. Currently, I am working at CAMUW Wichita 89.1, which is the Wichita affiliate of National Public Radio. I work there as a news lab intern. So with that, I do publish work for broadcast and for our digital website. So I have, very valid and pertinent experience with producing, published work, communicating effectively with the broad community. And that also has helped establish relationships with the news outlets in the community on my behalf. Personally, I've also worked as a public relations intern for the Undergraduate Office of Admissions last summer and last fall. We just aided in the recruitment effort that the Office of Admissions has by just promoting goodwill for the university. So I have a lot of experience with community outreach and event planning as well. We're going to a lot of different events in the community and just speaking on behalf of Wichita State, giving out free, WSU gear and just kind of talking the university up. Also, I currently work at the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, as I mentioned earlier, as the marketing assistant. So I also have experience with visual communication, creating flyers, graphics, and then also just doing outreach on social media as well. A couple goals I have, first and foremost, are just to provide transparent and streamlined communication with the student body and news outlets. I feel as though that is the essential kind of aspect of public relations in general in any field, is to be informative, but also truthful. I want to do that with this role. Let our student body know what's going on with the association, and also let the news outlets know what we are doing. So what we are doing is being spread. So if anybody wants to raise any concerns or bring anything to the Senate, they can, and kind of talk about what they want to be heard. Also, I want to establish more programs celebrating the students that make our campus great. Ultimately, the Student Government Association is working for the student body, so I want to celebrate the students that make the university so great. I want to build upon such programs that the previous director of public relations, Mackenzie Haas, did, like the Women in the Workplace Week and the Black History Month open mic night, kind of just to celebrate different identities. I also want to bring in RSOs on the planning process to kind of uplift them and their communities, their identities, their cultures, while also, getting to hear what they want, what they value as students, and then also kind of introducing them to SGA, because a lot of the students may not have ever interacted with the association before. Also, another main kind of program I want to put on is just like host a bunch of variety of program efforts leading up to this election in the fall. I mean, elections are always important, but with it being a general election year, I think it's very important to kind of educate our students about the importance of civic engagement and voting. Again, I would like to bring different RSOs from different kind of ideological standpoints to represent and talk about what they think and kind of educate students. Also, I would like to bring in elected officials to speak on behalf of that. So as a whole, our students can have a better idea of what it means to, be educated and be a voter in all aspects, not just in the general elections, local, but also within SGA. Other than that, I yield my time and open myself up for questions.
Thank you, David. Are there any questions for the nominee? Senator Kirk. Sorry, I was
There we go. First and foremost, I would like to say, just you have so much experience and you have a lot of things going for you, and I just want to applaud you what you have done already. But continuing on that, you do so much just for the university right now, and you want to do so much more, which is awesome. But how can you ensure everyone, us, that you're not going to be overloading yourself and getting to a point where, like, for instance, let's say that you do get put on, you start doing all this, and then you get to a point where you're just like, oh my gosh, like you just have so much going on and you get overwhelmed. How can you time manage yourself better?
Well, that's a great concern. That's definitely something that I first kind of had to come to terms with, basically, when I first became heavily involved last fall. I definitely, for like a month or two, kind of had to deal with, oh, wow, this is a lot that I'm doing. But with that, I've gained a lot more time management skills and organizational skills. I really value kind of allotting time for myself, always having a schedule. I'm very regimented and like to be organized with my time, making sure that I'm being as productive as possible. And I think my high level of involvement in grades would show, I still have maintained a high level of involvement and my grades have not suffered. I've done pretty well, and I feel like this will be just another thing for me to add on and exceed in and organize everything very well.
Thank you. Any other questions for the nominee? Seeing none, we will go ahead and move into the debate period. Senator James.
Yeah, so I'm speaking in favor of the nominee. Saying that he's experienced is really an understatement because he has a lot of stuff that like he works on that are under the realm of public relations, and he talked about just about every single one of them. And just like looking at him and his work ethic, whether it's for the ODI, for Halo, or for Ambassadors for Diversity and Inclusion, he puts 110% effort into it. And I think if we want to keep up the trend of great Director of Public Relations, as I've seen, this is the right way to go. And I'm urging everyone to vote in favor of the nominee.
Senator Day.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was absolutely thrilled when I saw that David was nominated for this position. I think he is an immensely talented and capable individual. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He just shows a lot of effort and energy into everything he does. And I'm just blown away being way involved. And I should disclose I know him a little bit because I'm an ambassador for diversity and inclusion like he is. And I'm just, he's quite capable to say that.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Kirk.
Yes, I will be voting in favor of this nominee as well. Just put aside everything that, like his qualifications and everything, I love how completely honest he was with all of our questions. When I asked him very directly, how can he time manage himself? Well, great question. And he goes into how exactly he does it now and how he intends to continue doing it. And I mean, going into the fact that, I mean, if his grades have not fallen, just how much he's doing right now and his grades haven't fallen. If I was doing that much, yes, I would be in F's all over the place. So I strongly encourage you all to vote for him because this is the kind of man, this is the kind of person that we need in that position.
Senator Babin.
I will also be voting in favor of this nominee. Like Senator Day, I was extremely excited when I saw that he was nominated for the Director of Public Relations. Every interaction I have with the nominee is an incredible experience. He's so personable, so likable, and I truly believe that he will do a great job. He has all of this amazing experience. I've seen the way he works. He is absolutely the best choice for this position, and I am so very excited, and I would love to encourage all of you to vote in favor as well.
Senator Mounts.
Yes, I'd like to speak in favor, of course. This seems to be the trend here. I actually personally got to work in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion with the nominee. He just wowed me with how nice he is, how well put together, organized. It was just crazy. So I definitely think there's definitely not another person that is more qualified for this position than David. And so I'm super excited to see that he applied, and I will definitely be voting in favor.
Senator Kirk.
Yes, I move to adopt this candidate by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, SB-63-006 is adopted by the Senate with unanimous consent. Congratulations, David. Moving on to item G, SB-63-007, creating the position of Director of Media.
SB-63-007, creating the position of Director of Media. Authors, Ridger Khan, President of the Association, Mackenzie Haas, Vice President of the Association. Sponsors, Olivia Babin, Liberal Arts and Sciences Senator, Hannah Ezel, Underserved Senator, Tayton Majors, At-Large Senator, and Crystal Zacharias, At-Large Senator. As the previous Director of Public Relations, Mackenzie Haas can attest to the position of DPR being a combination of two distinct positions. One dealt with outreach to students, news channels, and the other dealt with graphics, arts, and social media. In order to be the most effective cabinet possible, two positions need to be created to fulfill both of these needs. Additionally, this would increase our social media presence and allow a priority to be continually upheld in areas of outreach, event planning, and association communication.
Does the author wish to speak to this bill? Ridger, would you like to speak first?
She might be breaking her fast right now.
Oh, okay. Then I will go ahead and speak on this bill. So Ellie, do you have something? No? Okay, sorry. Oh, yes?
Yeah, point of personal inquiry, when are we supposed to adjourn?
9:30.
Okay.
Okay. So to just talk a little bit about how this bill came up, we honestly, guys, we had two really great applicants for the Director of Public Relations position, and I had already been kind of thinking about the position in general and how I had experienced it last semester or last session, and how it could maybe be bettered in the future. And just considering the distinct differences between the two things that I mostly had to do, which one is outreach and a lot of public relations aspects of things. So writing press releases and dealing with all association communication. So talking to news outlets, talking to different organizations, trying to communicate what we're doing with what we wanted to do with them, and event planning and different tabling events, that sort of thing. So that would stay under the Director of Public Relations still. And then our Director of Media would handle our social media, our quick graphics that we need made up, any videos and photography that we would need to do would be under the Director of Media. And this idea just kind of became better and better as we kept talking about it, just in that our social media game, if that's what you want to call it, is going to be stepped up. We will be able to have videos throughout the year made of SGA, which is a lot more digestible for students. A lot of students click on videos more than they click on graphics, or they will look at a video before they read a press release. So I think it's a really great thing to continue, but we cannot, like, I can't imagine me trying to do videos every week for our social media, doing what I was doing as the Director of Public Relations as well. I barely even got the chance to take photos. So I think this is a really great position that we need to have if we're going to continue utilizing our social media as one of our main sources of communication with students. I think it'll better our communication and transparency, honestly, to students. So that is what I have. If there are any questions for me, and is Ridja back?
Yes.
Ridja, do you want to speak on the bill, or do I ask questions? Do they ask questions to me first?
No, you can. This is the time where the authors can introduce it. So if Ridja wants to speak on it, she can as well.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll just add on to it. I mean, Mackenzie did a fantastic job talking about the position itself and the bill itself. I just want to add the emphasis as to how important it is now more than ever before to have this position in cabinet, as due to COVID-19 pandemic, all of our communication is through social media. Many students don't know where to go and how to get to things because, quite frankly, all of this falling under one position is a lot. And I think we have to remember that the people who fulfill these roles are students. They are involved in other things, and they have classes to take care of. So having someone else support this, DPR position is crucial. And if you have any questions, Mackenzie and I are happy to answer now.
Senator James.
Yeah. Oh wait. Am I
no,
good?
You're good. You're
okay.
Good.
So mine is kind of a two-part question. One, what is the rate of pay for the Director of Public Relations? And two, is it staying the same if this passes?
Yes and yes. Gabe, do you have the pay pulled up?
So we pay it $9. So last session we removed the overall big chunks of how much we pay them, like the guaranteed pay, and now cabinet members actually have to work the hours in order to get paid. So in compliance with that statute and what we pay all cabinet members at that level, it's $9 an hour.
Okay, and it's staying the $9 an hour? Okay, good. Thank you.
And the hours will stay the same. It'll be 15 for both, and they'll work hand in hand to pretty much together to communicate what we need to communicate. Any other questions for the authors? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and go into debate
Next week.
next week on this bill.
The first read. Yep.
Okay. With that, we will move into section 8, swearing in. This body will now move. Wait, did you have something, Gabe?
No, go ahead.
Okay. This body will now move to swear in the speaker-elect. Will the speaker-elect please raise your right hand and repeat after me as soon as Gabe shares his screen?
Hold up, let me find Olivia. Okay.
Okay. Olivia, will you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Olivia Babin,
Hereby swear
hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve
that I will faithfully serve
the students of Wichita State University,
the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with
the
Constitution of the student body,
the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities Gabe, can you scroll down?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Required of the office
of Speaker of the Senate.
I will,
to
the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University. Congratulations, Olivia.
Thank you.
Okay. With that, we will move into section 9, remarks and announcements. Is there anyone wishing to make a remark or announcement tonight?
For new senators, remarks and announcements is a time where you can say whatever you want to say. If you're a part of a student group, you can share some information about student groups, or you can, if you have a burning thought or anything, this is a time where you can do that.
Senator Babin.
Okay. I just kind of wanted to give a short kind of victory speech-y thing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for letting me get out all of my questions and my speeches and affirmation today. You're going to hear a lot more from me in the future, but it won't be about my opinion. So first things, I would like to thank everyone who voted for me. I'm incredibly honored to serve as the very first Speaker of the Senate. There's a precedent to set here, and I can only hope to meet all your expectations and more. I'm really excited to get this session started and very excited for the things to come. I also want to thank Senator Zacharias and Senator Mounts. You are both such incredibly strong leaders in this chamber, and I'm so excited to work with both of you. I would love to meet with you both to hear more about your ideas for this body and how we can improve it. I really look forward to working with you guys. Thanks again. And thank you so much for everything you've done for this university. I have a couple of plans that I plan on doing. I will probably, hopefully, get to send out an email to everyone here in the near future, just kind of talking about things that I want to do directly over this summer that we won't necessarily talk about during the actual Senate meetings. But yeah, I'm really excited to get started on this session. We're going to put students first this year. Go Shots.
Thank you, Senator Babin. Senator Flores.
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate everyone on our first meeting of the 63rd session. Everyone should be proud of themselves. I also wanted to just congratulate all the new senators, and I want to make sure that none of the new senators feel like it's sort of cliquey where all of the old senators from the 62nd or 61st sessions know each other and they feel excluded. I just want to make sure that you feel welcomed and feel comfortable to speak your minds. And if you ever want to reach out to me, you can. Please feel free to. I would actually really love that. My email address is meflores@gmail.com. Not gmail.com, at shockers.wichita.edu. Sorry. I just want to, thanks to everyone who is now in SGA, and I look forward to serving with all of you.
Thank you, Senator Flores. Senator Day.
All right, so, wow, this quality is terrible, but I first want to reiterate what other senators have said. I'm very proud of all of the people who are appointed tonight. I'm very proud of now Speaker Babin. One thing I want to caution the Senate about is that, and this is not a particularly important thing, it's just something I noticed, is that sometimes people in motion to adopt by unanimous consent in a way that prevent other people from speaking. I thought I noticed. So just be mindful of that when using the motioning to do that in the future. Better than that, it was a wonderful meeting. I thought it went very smoothly, and congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Senator Day. Senator Vargas.
Hello. I just wanted to thank everyone for all of their great insight, information, and everything. Kind of a learning curve, and I'm excited. I also wanted to make mention that I am the president of the Fairmount College Student Advisory Council, and we actually meet with Dean Hipsley and Dr. Bolin on a monthly basis. We meet as a group more frequently than that, but he comes into our meetings every month and we discuss with him issues, concerns, topics, questions that students have that come to us or we hear around campus, and we bring those things to him and he gets that feedback and then takes it and takes action on it. So if anyone in this group has anything that they would like, we have had people from this group come and sit in on meetings with us in the past. So you guys always have really helpful insight on things. So if anyone has any questions or concerns or things that they would like for me to bring to Dean Hipsley, he's the Dean of the Liberal Arts and Sciences College, by the way. If anyone has anything they would like for me to bring to him, I'm more than happy to do that. Feel free to email me. My email address is ilvargas, VARGAS, at shockers.wichita.edu. And I'd be happy to be, a resource for you guys to kind of get some feedback for him or just have your concerns voiced to him on that monthly basis. So just putting that out there.
Thank you, Senator Vargas. Senator Mounts.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations as well to everyone. I know this is not an easy time for anybody. I know a lot of students are struggling. And so I think we as a body need to make sure that we all take care of ourselves, but also make sure that we are still there for our constituents and our students. And so I already have seen great work done by people. And I would like to extend the same offer to you all as someone who, this is my third session now. If you have any questions or any concerns, or you just need like information of how SGA works, feel free to email me at asmounts@shockers.wichita.edu. I look forward to hearing from hopefully all of you. And even though I was not elected to the speaker position, I still stand by everything that I said, and my platform, I will still execute my platform this year to make sure that the Senate is a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mounts. Senator Kirk.
Yes. So gonna beat a dead horse, but it's fine. I just want to reiterate what Senator Flores and other senators have said. It might seem sometimes that the Senate might be cliquey to new senators, I was only in Senate for 1 semester, and we're going into the next session. But I just want to remind you that everyone that is returning is here for you. All of the cabinet members are going to be there for you. And I myself have tons of experience with with tons of different things. So if you need anything, please contact me as well. JR Kirk, Shockers, you know the rest. The last thing I want to say, this is more of a personal thing. Today, I had my 3rd audition. I am auditioning for, I can say it now because it's over. I had my 3rd audition for a musical called, everyone knows The Greatest Showman. I auditioned for Barnum, and I'll find out in a month whether or not I got it. So please keep that in your thoughts and prayers or everything, because if you don't know, I'm singing is my thing. Acting is my thing. I'm a very out there person. So please keep that in your thoughts and prayers. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm just so flippin' pumped for it. So yeah.
That's amazing, Senator Kirk. We're excited for you. Senator Tron? Hey, so I just wanted to extend the congrats, and also wanted to thank each and every one of you for being so unique and sharing your passion. And I really look forward to working with you. I am a returning senator, so if you want to work with me or on a specific legislation, let me know. Or if you have any questions or anything, I did want to point out and thank Senator Vargas for bringing your observations of the questioning period to light. I would love to work with you on some legislation for that. And finally, I want to wish you all good health, and yeah, stay safe. Thank you, Senator Tron. Senator Short or Chief of Staff Short? Okay, girl.
Yeah, congratulations, everyone. Welcome to the 63rd session. This is going to be awesome. I hope. So basically, like everyone else has said, I am returning. I have had experience as a senator. I have had experience in the cabinet. And just because I'm not returning to the Senate doesn't mean I'm not here as a resource for all of you. In fact, I probably have some more answers than some of the rest of the senators, but that's just me and my knowledge of the journal. That being said, if you're a new senator, a returning senator, whoever you are, and you're looking through the journal for whatever reason, and you see something that needs to be fixed, please contact me, because that's my job. It continues to be my job since I don't really have a transition period. I guess this is what I'm going to be doing. So for the time being, you can find me at my coup email, which I'm sure will be changing probably, but that is sga.coo@wichita.edu. That is for any of you if you have questions, comments, concerns. If you want to yell about politics, I'm there for that too. Yeah, let's have a great session.
Thank you, Kathleen. Senator Ratcliffe.
So I just wanted to echo the sentiments of all of the rest of the senators here and say hello to the new senators. Congratulations on being inaugurated. And I just wanted to point out, in our efforts to continue to remain professional, I think that we should just be mindful that we need to, when calling on other senators, refer to them by their senator and their last name and refrain from using first names. I noticed that quite a bit this evening. So other than that, I just wanted to say congratulations on the first meeting, and yeah.
Thank you, Senator Ratcliffe. Senator Cretin.
It really is an honor and privilege to be a part of the Senate. This is a little bit out of my personal wheelhouse, but I really want to do the best job I can. What I wanted to bring to attention is that the Wichita State community, since I am the College of Applied Studies senator now, Don Hall, our longtime Shockers basketball commentator, passed away. Just wanted to kind of bring that into the minds of other Shockers, because he's been the sound for I don't know how many years now, and continue to try to find avenues for people who specifically in the sport management world, kind of avenues that they can get in light with. Yeah, I'm super excited to be a part of this, and thank you again.
Thank you, Senator Creighton. Any other remarks and announcements? Oh, Gabriel.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Well, first of all, thank you and congratulations again to everyone. I know that this process is different. It's weird. If you've never been in it before, it is very confusing. I promise you by September, mid-September, you're going to be a pro at this. It just takes some time to get there, and you will get there. I'm sorry to put Ridge on the spot, but when Ridge was a freshman, it was just like, ooh, little poor baby, I don't know what's going on there. But now student body president. But I want to just, again, echo that the learning curve is there. I recognize it. Your leadership will recognize it, and we will get you in a position where you will feel comfortable, you'll feel like an expert, and you'll know what to do to best represent the peers, your peers on campus. I want to mention a few things. One, if you haven't, hopefully the senators, not the newly appointed one, but everyone else, you got an email from me that looked like an essay and a bunch of homework on there. If you haven't done that survey on there yet, just like information about yourself survey, please do that so we can have some of that information to utilize. 2, next week, you will probably be now electing your own leadership. So Speaker Babin will be moving through the process of nominating people to serve on the chair positions of our different committees. I listed those in that email. If you are interested in serving in a chair position, please, we encourage you to apply for those. Reach out to myself or Olivia if you have any questions about that, and we're happy to get those answered for you as well, or any of our former chairs, Zachary, Crystal, Ridge was a former chair, and Vanessa as well. And we're happy to get you answers to those questions. We will have one more meeting in the spring, unless for some reason we need to meet again. But our next and last meeting before we enter the summer recess will be next week, and then we will recess until the fall. There are probably lots of questions of what to expect in the fall. We don't 100% know yet. As soon as we get some answers from the university, we will work with leadership to share that information out and to be prepared for those things. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to give me an email. I can also send you myself a number. I'm a millennial, so I can text. But we will, if you haven't joined the Facebook group, please do that. This year, we're going to have a group me. So we will start that and get you involved in that as well. The next piece that you're going to get is going to be a 112-page document. It is the rules and regulations of the student government. It is the most updated version. So we will get you a copy of that. And if you have a moment, you're like, what is everything about how to run this organization? You can read that document, and Kathleen would be more than happy to help you understand that document as well. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I did want to share a message. Dr. Austin, who's our Associate Vice President and Dean of Students, from time to time, he will show up to Senate meeting and will be there to be present. Hopefully we'll get him to come on soon so that he can introduce himself to you all and to share a few words. But he did want me to share with you all that he's very proud of you all, and he looks forward to the great work that you'll be able to do this year. So thank you.
Senator Babin.
I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the chair positions. So chair positions are a great way for anyone who's looking to get more leadership opportunities within the organization. I will tell you that anyone can apply to be a chair position. You will not have any more or less chance if you're a new senator or an old senator. I'll look at everything. I just really encourage you that if you really care about students and you really care about the work that's being done here at SGA, that you do apply for a chair position. If you have any questions about it, you can always email me, text me, message me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I don't really care. You can message me on TikTok. But feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk about it. I want to see as many people as possible applying for those positions. They are great ways to foster leadership within this organization. And I know that so many people will really get a lot out of it. So I really hope a lot of people apply. I really encourage almost everyone to apply. So thank you very much.
I just wanted to reiterate a little bit of what Gabe said. Our next meeting will be next Wednesday. We have canceled our emergency meeting for tomorrow evening, so that is no longer happening. And just thank you all for bearing with me and holding your patience while I navigated these waters. I promise you'll be in much, much better hands next week. So I appreciate it, and congratulations, you all. I'm so excited for everything that we're going to accomplish. As everybody else has said, I am an open book. Please text me, call me. I don't care. Email me. It doesn't matter. Like literally just reach out to me. And I think with that, if there are no more remarks and announcements, we will end the first meeting of the 63rd session with a silent roll call. Yeah?
If you are a returning senator, please stay. And Olivia, please stay as well. And so does Ridja and Mackenzie. Returning senators, please stay. Ridja, Mackenzie, Olivia, please stay as well. Everyone else, we're good to go.